Jackson Homestead and Museum has been and is currently under renovations. After the first floor was redone, a new exhibit, Newton, the City We Make, 4 years in the making, has finally opened to the public. But it's not quite done and needs more input. Jenn Adams spoke with Lisa Dady, Executive Director of Historic Newton, about the exhibit and how residents can add their stories to Newton's history.
Historic Newton is revamping the Jackson Homestead and Museum, not only with renovations, but by adding a major new exhibition, Newton, the City We Make, exploring how generations of Newtonians shaped the city's past and continue to shape its future.
The big idea is that decisions that people made over time in response to an array of forces shaped Newton as it is today. So the idea that we posit is history doesn't just happen to us, that decisions we make are going to create what happens, and we hope that when people are standing here, they're thinking, oh, what am I doing now that's going to change the future, and kind of put them on that continuum of past, present, future.
Within the exhibition, there are 3 core themes, each in a different room. One is On This Land.
Talks about the cultural landscape, cultural geography of Newton. One of the reasons for On This Land is that I think it really resonates with people. First of all, we're a suburb. We're a close-in suburb to Boston. We're very tightly connected to Boston. So transportation like the railroad. Now, talking about railroads in my mind could seem boring, but we're not talking about facts and figures of the railroad. We're talking about what did that mean for the city in terms of its economy, in terms of the building boom and the population boom and who lives where, when, and what villages. And so people are, I think, really tied to place. And as a local history museum, we felt like we needed to rooted some of the stories just in the sense of place. So that's one of the reasons that came about. It's also a chance for us to go way back in history, the first people who lived here way before the English came as colonists, and talk about that. We have some great artifacts from a long time ago, and then talk a little bit about that conflict and cooperation between the English colonists and the native folks who lived here. One of the most famous stories for people who know Newton history is Reverend Eliot and Waban having a conversation about converting to Christianity. That's just one of those sort of highlights that if you know anything about Newton history, that kind of comes up. It was on our city seal up until recently. So some of those choices were informed by what we know people are interested in, or what we know they know a little bit about history, and now we can go further with it. So it's really based on what we know about how the community reacts to the stories we have.
The second theme is Making Newton Home.
We know that successive waves of people have come here and changed Newton. So we have one wall that is finished that talks about immigration, and then we're going to talk with the community about co-curating the rest of the room to see how it is we make Newton home. Since it's about making Newton home, we thought, well, let's ask people who have made Newton home what that was like for them. We wanted to lean into talking about immigration because that's such a huge story. But then after folks are here, how do they use schools, churches? What is it that makes it feel like they now belong? If you're a newcomer, how do you belong? We think that through the way they play, through the way they work, through the way they worship, we want to give those glimmers of how that experience has been over the last 400 years. In that gallery, probably the last 200 years, but it's been really important to us to bring this history all the way up to the 21st century. In fact, one of our immigration stories was from the 1980s. And we're really excited about letting people know that the 20th century is history too, and 21st century, you're making history as you wander around the city today. So we're asking for folks to help us finish that gallery. We're getting feedback from them to do that, and we'll be working on that up until June to kind of finish those 3 walls in there.
The third theme is Creating Change.
It became clear over the last year since I've been here that every time I turn around, there's an individual, there's a biography of someone who did something remarkable to make the city, the country, the globe a better place. And we would just keep adding to that list. We have dozens and dozens of people who created change, from someone who ran for governor to someone who broke the law, the Fugitive Slave Act law. So the whole gamut of how you might make change, from legal to illegal, from loud to quiet. So that is a really exciting gallery, and I think resonates with people today around things that are happening.
While this exhibition isn't permanent, it will be available for quite some time.
This is going to be a spine that's here for a really long time. We did a lot of fundraising around it. Mayor Furlow gave us some ARPA money for it, so we really put a lot into it. But in each room, there's places that will change.
Changes will come from those who visit and leave feedback and participate in the exhibits.
We welcome pictures. We have a listening station that's a prototype, so our designers have created the vision for a robust professional installation of a listening station, of hearing voices from the past, but we want to have people react to the voices we've loaded on this prototype machine. and they may add their voices to it. That's something that's easily changed. We'll ask people about some of the artifacts we're thinking about putting there. So which one are you most curious about? Which one do you think would be interesting for us to display? Because we have some choices to make and we only have so much space. So we'll have paper and pencil surveys. We always have the museum staff people can talk with them, and they will hopefully reach out to us through social media or coming by, and we are wide open.
Another exhibit that is on display is Confronting Our Legacy.
That's talking about slavery and anti-slavery in New England. We will always be talking about those topics because Jackson Homestead was a site on the Underground Railroad, so we consider it a central theme of ours to talk about abolition, anti-slavery, and so that exhibit will be on view going up the stairs into the second floor.
As part of a fundraising campaign, this exhibition will also be on display outside of the Jackson Homestead.
We have exhibits out in the community. We have an exhibit right now at West Newton Cinema called Uncommon Education, about education reform. And our plan, we're in the middle of a campaign, a fundraising campaign, to take pieces of this exhibit and put it into a mobile sort of pop-up design that can go to different venues around the city. We want everyone to come inside Jackson Homestead to see this. It's pretty great, but we know that not everyone will, so we're going to go where they are.
All ages are welcome to visit the Jackson Homestead. The hours are Wednesdays and Fridays, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
We also want people to know that we're here. If you have questions about history, let us know. If there's something that you think is important for us to talk about, let us know. We're all ears all the time.
Jenn Adams, Newton News, Newton Corner.